there is no reason you can give me that will excuse domestic violence.
Has it got anything to do with the background of this couple? I mean, the man and the woman, the way they are raised, their upbringing.
Oh, yes, you can say that. At the same time, you'll be surprised that some had very brilliant family backgrounds. But along the line, the society, the groups they belong to, the friends they keep, the associations they belong to, the thoughts in their minds. They just pick up a thought, and then, I don't want to mention specific ones. I mean, there are groups that will say, if your husband does this, you do this. If your wife does it,
peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure, yes, societal influences. Are you not a man? Your wife will talk to you like that. You should do this, you should teach her some sense. And then they will even sit the husband down and train him how to deal with the wife. And there are other women also who will sit down, their friends, do this to him. When my husband did this one, this was what I did. These are the problems we have. So a lot has to do with the family background, but also with the individual. Somebody can come from a broken background. I have friends, there are people in the society that didn't even know their parents, were raised by other people, and they're turning out right because they made up their minds they are going to have a good future and a good life. So a lot depends on the individual. It depends on you, it depends on me, what we make of the life we are living.
All right, Dr. Oyewole, many people have had reasons to question the very existence of some of those marriages, saying, did they marry for the right reasons? Were they compatible? At first, you have young ladies and young guys who have a particular picture in their mind. Be broad-chested, she drive an SUV, she have this and that, and then guys also, who have different pictures. People are saying, was that marriage consummated for the right reasons in the first place?
Yes, it's a good point you are raising, because I remember Mommy also raised it the last time, that a lot has to go into premarital counseling. Because this is where you are going to engage the reasons why people marry. But even for the best of choices, there's still a responsibility on those who are involved in marriage to have the requisite intelligence, like she mentioned, to be able to make the business work.
It's a business.
It's a business. You are investing the best of your life in another person. Another person is investing the best of her life in your life. I mean, I keep saying that maybe my wife will have become richer than she is now if I didn't banish her to Oshobo. That's a cost. You understand what I'm saying? And for me too, maybe if I had married another person, maybe my life wouldn't be like this. So we are investing the best of our persons, the best of our lives in another person. So it's a serious investment that must be. If you lose money, you walk away. You got to make the money again. But when your emotions and your life is invested in another person, it's a serious investment, please, which must be clinically investigated before you even invest. And even when after the investment, you want to safeguard it. Like Mommy was saying, you don't want to, because you have to sleep on the same bed with your wife. By the time you begin to feel that somebody can wake up in the middle of the night and stab you, you have to take steps to make sure that does not happen. And that's the intelligence there. So for me, the infidelity question is interesting because I think our women is, I want to put the blame more on the side of the women, and that is why I want to challenge Mommy. They have more work to do than us men. Because the role reversal that is as a result of globalization of values challenges the men more than the women. It makes the women more combative and the men more at the receiving end. No, I think it's the combatants that need a lot of counseling, the women. Because, like I said, they have good reasons for the combat. They have good reasons to feel that they should take on men, going by the experiences of some of their mothers. Because some of our mothers in those days also didn't, not that some of them survived it, the effect of patriarchy on them. A lot of them got depressed and died before the children started doing well. A good of them had stroke because of the brutality of patriarchy. And some of these women who are now our wives saw some of these things happening, and so they are coming armed. That any man, no matter, don't love like that. So they're coming armed. One of the earliest signs is this infidelity. And to somebody who is a combatant, when I know that my husband is seeing another lady, what it means is that I have lost it. What happened to my mom has started. What happened to my auntie has started. So they're coming with ding guns, sledgehammer to crush. And the man is also ready, because a man also does not begin to have affairs not until the woman too has also done something to her ego. I warn newly married couples, women, I said, please, you are in a modern age, argue with your husbands, discuss, but don't fracture his ego. When a man's ego is fractured, he wants to go and repair it. And one of the things he needs to repair ego is to also have a feedback from a woman who adores him. Even it could be the house girl. It could be somebody selling pure water. Just make me feel like a man. So when a woman also sees that, he begins to feel, yes, I'm dealing with this man, but he already has somebody somewhere who is already feeding his ego. So it's more than the sexual act. To the woman, it's a power play. In other words, somebody is already in charge of this ego. So for me, the women, I think, like I was telling mommy before we came on board here, I connect to the agitations of the women, modern women. I connect with the valid reasons a good number of them have to be this combative. But if they are emotionally intelligent, some of the methods they are using, is it for the men? The economic recession is not very good for us because the patriarchal role is oftentimes tied to, financial capabilities, which is eroding gradually. Because the reality of the modern family is that the man cannot call the shots financially again. And we have been programmed from culture that we only give leadership because we can provide for our wives. That is no longer the case. So the men are losing the capacity to give leadership. They already have some measure of inferiority complex. Coupled with a woman who is more advantaged. A lot of women have a lot of money now than men. Because, when things were buoyant, they will collect money from us, even though we are earning the same salary. So they were saving their salary. So they have more money now. And the man doesn't have so much money and is struggling to still be the leader. And he doesn't have financial backup. So the women, they will know the man doesn't have money. Say, Daddy, please, so we need this for this. They will need this. They will need. You understand what I'm saying? They know he doesn't have. His ego is challenged. And so when he fails, the woman also combat him for getting the good times too.
All right. Well, Dr. Oderinde, he has put the blame, as it is, solely on the doorsteps of women. I wonder how you're going to react to that.
Well, one person does not fight. It is not possible you see just one person quarreling, fighting in the home or in the society. It takes two to tango. If you say women are getting combative, well, is it the person getting combative that is that the reason why the combatant must be killed or maimed? Doctor mentioned the issue of role reversal. That alone, if that is the reason, reversing roles takes a lot from the person involved. This is my role. Now you are giving me something else, probably that I'm not wired for. And that takes a lot on the emotions of that woman. I want to put it back on the men. The society, the holy books, and common intelligence place the man as a head. As the head, you are expected to be in charge. And when you are in charge of a venture, you must be aware of what you are into. As such, when things come along, like the Yoruba proverb that says, you cannot carry an elephant and then begin to use your legs to look for ants. That is the way I see men. They are carrying an elephant. And then looking for ants is not what should be their concern. If we agree that there is role reversal because of the economic situation in the country, which I don't agree with, there are various reasons why people quarrel. There are various reasons. There are people who are putting monies in the pocket of their husbands and they don't have quarrels in their homes. There are homes where the husband is the one rolling out dollars and yet they quarrel and they injure themselves. So I still want to appeal to our men to recognize the position the society places them, to recognize the society, our religions. Even the traditional religion says the man is the head and the leader. And as a leader, maybe the problem we have is, not I don't know how to place it, improper understanding of what our roles as men are in the home. So I wouldn't really say it is the fault of the men or the fault of the woman. It is our fault. The fault of the wife, the fault of the husband. And I want to appeal to us that we should recognize the fact that, well, there are times that roles will be reversed. But it takes understanding. It takes understanding both from the man who is reversing the role of the wife and the wife whose role has been reversed, to come together and understand that it is for a season and that the situation will probably change.
But a couple of these cases we're saying is actually about the women attacking the men. You know, like two of the instances I cited earlier on, had the wife stabbing the men.
Yes, emotional intelligence. Let me give you an example of somebody who eventually died. I was thinking about it. The previous night or hours before, he was stabbed with a pair of scissors. That was an indication that something was wrong. But he insisted, he went back home, and he didn't survive the second. I would have felt, there is this male, Daddy talked about male ego. I'm a man. And probably his friends, you're a man now, you can handle it. It's not everything we can handle. They said he who runs away lives to fight another time. And must you even fight? That's my own conception. It is when you are alive that some things happen. Now, whether they give her 7 years or 14 years or life in jail, the other man is 6 feet under the ground. So what should happen to us? What we should do, help ourselves, help our friends, and the society to understand the fact that we must continue to live. And to continue to live, we must manage whatever situation we find ourselves. Whether we're in a wrong marriage or in a shaky marriage, we must do everything we can to keep ourselves. And then there is what we call personal protection. Protect yourself. If the other person is getting mad, is getting angry, and wants to hold a knife, there is no reason why we should carry knife. There is no reason why the woman should carry knife. There is no reason why the man should carry knife. But it is easy for us to stand in here in the studio or anywhere and judge people and say, she killed her husband or he killed his wife. There are a lot of things that we don't understand. But the bottom line is for us to appeal to people listening to us that violence is not the solution. Domestic violence, the bottom line in domestic violence is to place control over the other person, to establish control and to exert it, to bring it to pass, to make sure that I'm the one in charge, either by the woman or by the man. A lot of women are like that. They come into a relationship and they want to be in charge. And that's when a lot of other formulas come in. And the man too will tell you, I'm the man here. There's nobody contesting the fact that you are the man here. It is the attitude of, that is not, being a man is beyond, wanting to exert physical, force. There are a lot of other things to be done between the husband and the wife. And this is what I want us to appeal to the people listening to us, that we should look for how we can better our lots and the lot of our children, rather than coming on to stand to want to exert authority or control over the other person. All right,
Dr. Yewale, tell us how best to manage these. We've been told in pre-marriage counseling, in sermons or religious leaders everywhere, that there will be challenges. But how best would you advise that these issues are managed before it gets to a point where we begin to inflict injuries on each other?
Yes, I still go back to my point. In Africa, because of our culture, we are not immediately diagnostic. My mind, sir, I feel that the women, the role reversal has put the modern woman in a combative position. The victim of that role reversal is the men. And because of that, the marriage is more heated up now than it used to be. So for me, the women need a lot of mentoring. I'm happy mommy talks the way she talks. A good number of even mothers in their age don't talk like this. They are busy equipping, training their girls on how they can get into marriage and get very combative. And what I keep saying is that the women are more equipped for emotional intelligence than men. Even nature has given them. They are more intuitive. They have two hemispheres working at the same time. The men are more logical. The man says one thing, even if he's stupid, until he enters the ditch, he keeps going. That's why God called the woman a help that is meet for him. It requires a high dose of emotional intelligence, and God made them that way than men. So it is natural for men to be egoistic. In fact, no woman even wants to marry a man who doesn't have some ego. So when you now get into marriage and you are coming with sledgehammer and then gun to crush that ego because of this role reversal, what happens? There's going to be violence.
What about the man who tortured his wife to death in the presence of their 5-year-old child?
Possibly must have done something to that ego. And there's no POP to handle ego.
But there are instances where, what I mean, we say, by every means, by every standard, it appears that if this man is just difficult and it's just something else.
Which means the woman is not intelligent enough. When I keep hearing that, I said it's a challenge of your intelligence as a woman, please. Because why did you, in the first instance, choose to marry him? And I'm saying that they are equipped for that. A woman will get, don't you know that when we are getting married, they say, Lola, where's Ade? They say, Ade, where's Lola? They are continuously managing men. Even look at some of these are old women, old mamas. They outlive some of those babas. Some of those babas that are misbehaving. They have better emotional intelligence. Then when the man is 60, 65, maybe even we remember he has something to sleep with a woman. Maybe he's diabetic and has hypertension and he's taking antihypertensive drug. Then the man is coming. And that's when their wives become mommy. Maybe go and ask mommy. Now, the younger women they don't have that intelligence. And they would labor to send their children to school. When the children come, they'll say, my mommy, isn't it? It's the mommy that will say, please give daddy some 10,000. That intelligence is what I'm saying. And people like mommy needs to start seriously convening meetings for our modern women to beg them, teach them. Some of them were not properly taught from their mothers. I'm sorry to say this. Do you understand what I'm saying? They possibly have not seen mothers who, by intelligence and wisdom, bring their fathers down. I don't know whether it's a serious intelligence. So I even feel their desire for a lot of career and academic pursuits is more IQ than EQ. And when you pursue IQ too much, you lose EQ. So another thing is spirituality. Spirituality prescribes the woman, let it be the hidden man of the heart. 1 Peter 3. Rather than outward adornment. The outward adornment is not painting lips. He said, rather than use ego for ego, why don't you let it be the hidden man of the heart?
All right, well, that takes us to the realm of religion. What role, really, do we ascribe to religious leaders and institutions in all of this? How well have they played that role? Have they contributed to this mess, or have they helped us to actually stem this tide?
Well, religious... We are basically religious, apart from our religious leaders either contributing or removing from the stress. One of an example is somebody, I guess the one that happened, I can't remember the name, that happened 2 days ago, had left the home. The man was telling her, very soon your parents will see your obituary. And he kept saying it. And the parents challenged him. He said he was just joking. And eventually, they saw not only the obituary, they saw her in the morgue. Religiosity is, don't worry, it is well. Even in the well, it is well. There are times it is not well. There are times religious leaders, this is the problem we have. Religious leaders will tell you, we don't separate relationships. Yes. But you can call a spade a spade. This woman is not doing well. Let her know. Whatever it is that she's doing wrong, it is expected that her religious leader, the pastor, the imam, the bishop, should be able to call her and let her know and discuss with her. And if it is the man, unfortunately, men are involved, and most of our religious leaders are men. So they have the tendency to tilt towards supporting the man. And probably in some cases, if that's the way they behave, don't worry. And the man goes back home and continues the violence. I'm talking about domestic violence. Our religious leaders should know there is a problem in our hands, and we should address it. Dedicate times in church, in the mosque, to talk about reasons for domestic violence, what we can do about it. It cannot be enough. And we should also encourage our members to seek professional advice. There are times that some things are beyond us. It is not everything that is demonic attack
or spiritual.
There are times that we need to see a psychiatrist. It is not people that are mentally deranged that seek psychiatrists. You may need advice, may need counsel. There may be something beneath the aggression that the woman is exhibiting in the home. There may be something beneath the aggression that the man is exhibiting. The man is born again, yes, but he has aggression, and we need to get professionals, professional counselors, certified counselors, and psychologists, psychiatrists to examine. There are things they do. It's not about giving drugs. They sit down. Sometimes it is just, somebody came all the way from Ilefe to talk to me one day, and the person talked for 2 hours. And after talking, she broke down, cried. I didn't say a word. And she said she was okay. She had the mind of going to deal with the husband. But she said somebody asked her to come to Oshobo. And she spoke. And what she did was speak. And I asked myself, where was the pastor and the pastor's wife? So our religious leaders have a lot to do on this. We have a lot to do. Address the situation as it is. If it is necessary, let us make referrals. Let us refer them to professionals. And let us not be lopsided, about issues. The man is the head. Yes, he is the head. If you can't cater for your home, you are a failure. No. If you cannot cater today, you will be able to cater tomorrow. So when you give a man that's poison,
stereotype,
he goes home and sometimes he can even poison himself. They have said I'm a failure. It's even worse. The pastor has declared it that I'm a failure. So these are things that we must really manage, and really our pastors, our imams should please save us.
Okay. Well, let's ask Dr. Oyewole, because he also qualifies as a cleric. He's a theologian.
Yeah,
so, let's put it in his own courts. The role of religious leaders and institutions in all of this.
I think it's huge. My worry is that a huge number of people who are doing the marital counseling are more, just like Mommy said, they are more sentimental than trained. There's a huge difference when you find somebody who is a certified counselor and is a pastor, or a psychiatrist and is a pastor, or somebody who is just a pastor and learned a bit of psychology in the theological seminary. What happens is that we are carried away with the expectations of our denomination, rather than the psychodynamics of a particular case. Every marital conflict has a peculiar psychodynamics, and not many of them are trained enough to be able to come up with the psychodynamics. What I mean by the psychodynamics is, just like Mommy said, now we are seeing somebody killing each other. But what has happened before this man killed this woman? Don't you know that? I mean, I wrote an article sometimes about mental health and domestic violence, and I was arguing there that a woman is speaking to a man, and he said, please, you are talking to a man who loves you ordinarily, and is not answering you. He's reading the newspaper. He's actually not reading the newspaper. You said the same thing again. He looks at you and gets back again and is reading. You said the same thing again and said, please, you are getting me mad. He's a pastor. But he said, please, you are making me mad. I think a woman who is intelligent enough should keep quiet and possibly go and look for another method, another way of getting to the man. The next time you do that, the man will have slapped you or possibly killed you before you realize that he's a pastor or he's not supposed to have done that. So what I'm saying here is that when such issues that have not even resulted in death come to us as pastors or as counselors, a pastor may not be able to understand why this Christian lovely brother beat his wife. All is that, you beat your wife? I'm disappointed. But there's a psychodynamics to it. It could mean that the woman too is not intelligent enough. She has an irritating factor. She's an irritant. And that irritant, you are not checking. The man, you must be the head, you must be responsible. I put it to you that, oh, you have failed. You have disappointed the grace of God upon your life. Correct. But he's human. So for me, these issues must be looked critically rather than on a sentimental basis, rather than on the defense of culture, rather than on the defense of a denomination. But our religious places are a huge facility that could help stem a lot of this problem, because people will readily talk to a pastor, they will readily talk to the wife of a pastor than certified counselors or psychiatrists.
Well, Dr. Oderinde, just before we open the phone lines, let's look at young people coming up, people who get married again, because it seems most of this trend is amongst young couples, newly married couples, some of them just 3 years, into the marriage, 5 years. What advice would you give to people who say they are courting at the moment now, who will get married in the next few years or in the next few months? Or those who are not even, paired already at all?
Yes, if you are going on a journey, you must be prepared for that journey. You must be well, you know where you are going, and get your clothes, get all the other accessories that you need. So I tell people, as a woman, get equipped. Okay? There are times, like he was saying that, why did he marry him? Why did she marry him in the first place? There are times you just find yourself with a different person from what whom you knew. So get ready for that. Develop yourself to a point that you would have, I don't know how to put it. You will be ready to face the challenges that come your way. I want to appeal to our men, young boys, young men, married, not yet married, to avoid misplaced aggression. When you blame people for your faults, for your failures, as an unmarried person, it will continue after marriage. So there are some of these negative behaviors in our lives, some unpleasant behaviors that we have, that we must deal with before we get married. Both young men and ladies. Don't put your failures on another person. If you do it before marriage, you are likely to do it when you get into marriage. Also, let us develop our psychological well-being. Things that make for happiness on the individual, the man, the woman. Once you are happy within yourself, you'll be able to radiate it. You cannot give what you don't have. Let's build ourselves while we're waiting marriage, or while we're just getting into marriage, and make up your mind. Talk to yourself. I'm not going to fail in this area. Whatever this man does, there are times you make up your mind like that. This man wants me to be annoyed. Today, I won't be annoyed. No matter what you say, you are talking to yourself. This man wants me to be mad. Today, I will not be mad. It's not easy, and it's not going to be easy. But like Doctor said, it is a business. It is a project. And when you are going for a project, you give all that it takes to survive in it. I want to appeal to our ladies to mind the friends they keep, to mind the philosophies they get into. So that philosophy might have worked for A. It may not work for you.
Have you heard of men as come?
Well, yes, but honestly, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. There are a lot of them that we have. I've had some other ones this morning. But what I'm saying is that those things, men have come, women have come, Finn and all the other ones, they may work. And honestly, some of the people propagating these things, those things do not work for them. Oh, men has come. SCUM. Okay. Well, honestly, that is funny. Honestly, I'm hearing it for the first time. So I want to appeal to our ladies to watch their lips also. This is important. Even adults, grown-up women, the kind of things that come out of their mouth will make a man mad. They come in and dress a man down. Hey, you are this, you are that, you are that. And the man will look at her. The next thing, in his intelligence, is to slap her. And it goes on, and it will build up. The woman will look for another way of dealing with him, and will probably look for something upset him and all that. So I just want to appeal to us. What I want to do this morning is to appeal to the men, appeal to the women, to help ourselves, help yourself. If you are in a relationship, you enter that relationship to make profit. And to make profit, you must sit down and develop yourself and secure yourself.
All right, well, Doctor, just in 1 minute, it seems the men also have a huge challenge. It seems we need to look at how we are raising our young boys. I've had, experts talk about the fact that the kind of boys we are raising nowadays are going to give us problems, this kind of problems in years to come. Do you agree?
Not fully. Because the present children we are having is as a result of what I would call the skilled marital relationship. Because the women have dominated men, what happened is that men have run away. When I mean run away, they are in the house, but they are not allowed to give leadership. You know, there are some
or they are not given the leadership.
They want to give it, but you know, you can't give leadership when you are when there's a combat.
But the men are said to be the leader of the house, the authority. We live in a patriarchal society where the man dominates.
When a woman is now set to undermine that authority, what happens is that the boy who is growing up is at the receiving end.
Or is it because those men are irresponsible? They're just absent from their role.
You know that a lot of women also come into marriage with a lot of identity crisis. And they think the man has to indulge it. And that's what is love. I don't know whether you're getting my point here.
How does that affect the raising of the boys?
Because if the woman is coming with a lot of identity problems, a lot of bad attitudes, and the man wants to put his feet down, your attitude, I don't think I like it. She wants to combat the man. Now what happens is that the children growing up, especially the boy, now become the surrogate boyfriend to the woman. Spoiled, doesn't stay at home, begins to drive mommy's car. It's a defense mechanism. And the boy now grows up untutored, untaken care of. The man who is supposed to have said, hey, what are you doing there? Keep quiet, has been banished. The girls are well taken care of. Lola, we have 5,000 naira only. Know how you will manage it. So they are well brought up. The boy goes to play football, comes back. Lola, please, mommy, and this boy. I say, oh, please, it's my own food. Don't worry. He drives the car. He goes to the mechanic. He started owning car. He does work about 2-3 times. He fails. It is the women who have banished the men, because a woman, it's difficult for a woman to bring up a boy alone. So when you castrate men and they run away, the boy will come back and then come back.
Well, we have to open the phone lines at this point now. Well, we've been having this discussion on domestic violence today on Frank Talk and Rave 91.7 FM. We'd like you to keep your comments short, make them simple, and most importantly, let's keep them civil today. The phone lines will be opened right now.
You can now join the conversation by calling 0703-175-9177, 0703-175-9177, and 0902-427-3808. You can equally make use of our social media platforms. For WhatsApp, 0703-175-9173, 0703-175-9173. Tweet at us at Rave917FM, and Facebook is Rave917FM. Do remember to turn down the volume on your radio set or move away from it. And please, let's keep our comments civil. Thank you.
All right, well, you can also make use of 08068676165. 08068676165. Let's take the phone calls now. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, my name is Femi. I'm calling from Monwood.
Thank you, Mr. Lawal.
I have a very unpopular view about the issue we are discussing this morning. I know it's not be popular because to some people it will be funny. But I think we should resist from thinking that a man does not have the right to marry another wife. You see, it is part of the problem we are facing when we talk about this domestic violence. Because you know what we think is that, it's not in the Bible that a man cannot marry two wives. It's not in the Quran. I don't know where they get it from. The mindset for our women these days is that my wife and my husband cannot have another affair, cannot marry another person. If you look at the issue of domestic violence, over 80% is because of infidelity. They think person is not fidelity to me. That is why you see them going to the extra mile of killing one another. I am telling you, if you are the mindset, the factor of Nigeria will not even allow anybody to marry two wives now.
Okay, so Femi, if I get you right, you're saying polygamy is the way to end this.
I am not saying totally that polygamy is the way.
But it will go a long way in helping.
When you have the mindset that my husband cannot marry another wife, like many women now will say, you will be combative. You will get that if you see anything going, if you see him doing anything, you want to fight because you have that mindset.
Okay.
And go and check the Bible, go and check the Quran. Nowhere they say man cannot marry two.
Thank you very much because of our time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ismail calling from Ekiti.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismail.
Actually, my own submission this morning, firstly, I would like to thank those speakers in the studio. They are doing a very great work. And my own little submission this morning is the aspect of can religion help to control domestic violence? To me, I would say yes. Because I can remember I'm a kind that is slightly violent, so to speak. I easily get into fights like that. My old man will advise you, my young chap, you know what I'm considering about you? I'm considering the future when you will get married. I'm scared about how you relate with your wife. You know, while I was growing up, I took the path of religion, and I must say, honestly, this has been the best thing that happened to me. The woman I married, I couldn't recollect the first time I would say I raised my hand against her, and it's been up to 6 or 7 years now. What really worked for us is the aspect of religion that, oh, sister, this is that, this. We do discuss, we do get angry to each other, but we control it in such a way that not even the next person, the next door, we know what is happening in our house, and that.
Thank you very much. Let's take some messages now. Lots of them. Adekoja Tobatele from Ilanrogo is saying we should also look critically at the courtship culture of this generation. In the past, it took considerable time to study your future partner, and money or status did not play a cardinal role as we have it today. Thank you very much. And this one is King LaFace from Ede saying the two speakers diagnosed the topic very well, but on no condition should a man or woman kill his or her spouse because of infidelity. The new generation woman wants to be the head of the family, and they want the man to be a CC and supportive. Femi, now what will she tell her child when she grows up? It's so disheartening. Thank you very much. And on Twitter, Ari of Femi Festivals is saying, bravo. Rave, your guest on Frank Talk have done justice to the domestic violence issue. What's the role of teachers, tutors in tackling this issue? And Rosimi Williams is saying, good morning, Mr. Femi, kudos to you, sir. Most women are not properly okay with their marriage. They don't want to be submissive to their husband. May God help us. And Taiwo Ajayi is saying, I want to ask the psychiatric consultant, what are basic red lights to watch out for? And I'm saying religious bodies has a role in mending homes and giving a balanced orientation about marriage. Role reversal is making men going crazy. Thank you very much. We have to get back to our guests because of our time on the show today. Let's take Dr. Oderide first. Your final remarks and reactions to comments today.
Thank you very much. Like I said, we must help ourselves individually. We should build ourselves and make sure that we manage emotions properly. When we see traits of force in any relationship, we should seek for help. There is no harm in seeking for assistance and counsel. So I want to encourage our listeners to please seek for help and don't be ashamed to say that you are in a crisis.
All right, Dr. Oyewale.
I think also just like Mommy said, a lot of self-development. People who go into marriages with a lot of self-deficit and thinking that marriage is going to add it all up, go into a lot of mess. So see yourself as whole, not only because you are married to another person, but you are bringing a lot of resources into that marriage to make the other person better. I think it's a good mindset.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your thoughts, for your contributions on the program this morning. Dr. Olayinka Oderinide is a retired permanent secretary, certified counselor. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Frank Talk, this morning, ma.
Thank you very much.
And Dr. Adeoye Oyewole is a consultant psychiatrist and is also a theologian. Thank you so much for your thoughts this morning on the program.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And to you, dear listener, for being a part of our world today, we sincerely apologize for not being able to take much calls today because of the time. We thank you so much for being a part of our world. We'll be back here tomorrow for another edition of the program on behalf of the team and executive producer, Femi Adefila. My name is Femi Olanipekun. I'm asking you to have a great day. Bye-bye.
Imagine the sun without heat. Imagine water without wetness. Imagine the sky without the stars. Imagine movement without motion. Imagine Oshobo without Aro. Imagine